Our poster boy Chainlink might be a fraud, according to a extensive report. Let's take a deeper look, a deeper dive. Hello Adrian and welcome back to my channel. It is 7:30 p.m. UTC plus 8 is my time zone, and welcome everybody who is watching around the world. It is it's the last day of the week, or the first day of the weekend, whatever or however you want to look at things. Everything is looking pretty negative. Well, if you are a bear, then you're pretty happy with how things are currently going with Bitcoin. If you are a bull, things are not as pretty as they might seem, but not really any major macro structures have been broken just yet. But before we go into the technical analysis on Bitcoin and stuff like that, I wanted to wish everybody well and say hello first to the hardcore crew. So hi Lex, hi Nikolai, hi Henry, hi Tina, hi Mongol. Hope you are doing well as well on this Friday. Before that other people are slowly trickling in, let's take a look on some COVID numbers while people are checking out. Let's see how many people we are currently at. Now in the US, we are at close to 3.6 million cases in the US. Wow. Hi Carl, welcome. Brazil is over 2 million and India is over 1 million cases right now. So let's take a look on how it looks on the world chart. We are now at close to 14 million confirmed cases. It is flattening a little bit, so it means that the other countries are doing a little bit better, but I think the top 6 countries are still pretty much the same. Wow, South Africa is now has now taken over the top 6 position. Yeah, Brazil second, and then India, then Russia, then Peru, and then South Africa. Wow, that's that sucks for South Africa. Hi Jojit, hi Zaldi. Hope you are all doing well. Anyways, a big shock, maybe a big shock. So yesterday I received an email from one of the companies, one of the funds that are doing investment research, deep research, in-depth research, and they sent me this report on Chainlink, and I wanted to go through with you guys today. First of all, I want to say this is their opinion. This is not my personal opinion or anything like that. I just wanted to share this with you because I do believe that that's a little bit the problem with all the hypes and all the ICOs actually. And if Chainlink, our poster boy right now on the cryptocurrency market, is going to be exposed like this as a fraud, that will be very, very bad, of course. Hi Alto. That'll be very bad. So for the people who are interested in reading this report, you can find it on chainlink.docsend.com. So once again, chainlink.docsend.com, and you can find this whole report. It is 59 pages, so it's it's quite extensive. So as you can see, it's an investigative report on why Chainlink is the crypto's Wirecard. And as you know, Wirecard was when they were missing $2 billion. If you're not aware of that scenario, and as you can see, the price is currently it's a little bit higher now. Target price is 0.07. The downside potential is minus 99%. Ooh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. So as you can see here, this is what their executive summary is. There's abundant evidence of market manipulations with trade of classic pump and dump techniques, trading on the inside information, front-running the general public, unsubstantiated claims of progress, artificial transactions to imitate adoption, bogus partnerships announcement, and any other trick in the book to drive up the price prior to dumping Link onto innocent investors. Smart Contract, the company behind Chainlinks, controls all aspects of the onboarding process of each aspiring node operator, acting as a sole gatekeeper of the ecosystem and compromising the legitimacy, decentralization, and independence of the network. The tokenomics model is broken with an inherent conflict of interest between holders, client, and the founding team with regards to the pricing of Link. A clash and crash is imminent. Hi, Gil. Despite the project's colossal development budget, Chainlink still runs on Ethereum-based testnet, exposing users to gas price fluctuations, network congestions, financial losses, and beta versions bugs. Right? So, yeah. You can actually short Chainlink, Gil. So, yes, you can. So, the two founders behind Chainlink are constantly selling Link from their vast reserves at the market, as well as substantial discounts from the current price to selected institutions over the counter, OTC, incentivizing purchasers to lock in profits by quickly selling it further, creating a downward spiral. Link characteristics such as a lack of decentralization combined with recent decision by the SEC leave no doubt that Link will be classified as a security, putting the whole enterprise and the investors at risk of anything but from dealing in unregistered securities to court orders from disgorgement of proceeds. Woo! That's basically basically a whole lot of bad and negative things that they are saying, right? There's very, very, very wow. A lot of bad things, but anyways, like I said, I'm obviously not gonna go through the whole report. You should be reading it yourself, but yeah, a lot of a lot of negative, very negative things, and yeah, they will see. So basically, it will show what the problem is, that there's how Chainlink is supposed to be working, how the contract is supposed to be working, and why it is flawed, and why it is well, one of the things that is this part is really crucial, and and that's quite I don't know if it's true, right? So I'm just reading this report, but I don't know if that's the case. Like I said, I have never done more in-depth research on Chainlink. I just know that the chart looks good. So on the technical TA perspective, things were looking good. So I just trade on TA. But apparently, there's a lot of shit. The project has reserved 35% of Link outstanding for 350 million tokens, equivalent of almost $2.4 billion for nurturing the Chainlink community. So basically what they're saying is when a project wants to implement Chainlink solution, the team can either purchase Link on the open market or contact smart contract and get a quote for the service. An actual offer sent by the smart contract quotes 5 cents to 10 cents per node operator for each data request. At the same time, the price charged per data request on the testnet is set at Link 1. By taking this information into consideration and examining on-chain activities, it becomes evident that individual nodes are paid between 0.16 to 0.33 per call, which is simply divided by the number of nodes, right? Considering the staggering difference between the current price of Link and the smart contracts offer, a potential user will likely pay 20 to 70 cents per request for the smart contract. On the other hand, they will be transferring one Link from the subsidy fund to the operating nodes each time a request is made. So, given that the price is currently $7.95, the discrepancy with the offer results in a subsidy of more than $7 per data request. So basically what they're saying is like there's a lot of subsidies being paid, creating basically forcing, well, not forcing, making people to create or generate fake or, you know, bogus smart contracts or requests to get more subsidy funds. That's basically what they're saying. And if that's the case, that's definitely not good. Anyways, there's a lot that they're saying. It's a lot of bad things. The token economics, the core functionalities, how it's working, and why the platform is flawed, and how it's it's not doing or what is wrong with the whole thing. Other than that, so basically they have also tracked the addresses of Chainlink, and you can see the founders control 62% of the tokens, which is $4.8 billion worth right now. And they said that so basically they found that the addresses are finally arriving to operational, so from 1 to 2 to 3 subsidizing wallet to node operator, and then others however have been dumped on the market following fake or grossly overstated projects updates. So basically a lot of selling and dumping from the owners whenever they push out some big news, and then they basically dump onto the market. And that's basically this pattern that they have been seeing in terms of like ownership and so on and so on. Yeah. crazy stuff. Anyways, more on-chain analysis, as you can see. Macroeconomics, true value locked. Ooh, it's a lot. What else was interesting? Was the advertising, right? So whenever they are saying that they have a partnership or something like that with, for example, Google or something like that, the next couple of days, basically it's gone, the partnership or something like that. That was pretty crazy as well, that I've read. 1 second, it's somewhere on at the end already from the overview. Blah blah blah. This is the team. They did a deep dive on the team as well, as you can see. Here. So back in the day, Chainlink prouded on the landing page that it would be partnering with companies like Swift and Google. A few months later, there's no reference of either Swift or Google on the project website anymore. Looking at hindsight, the announcements have been part of cleverly crafted pump and dump schemes, serving as a tool to enrich Chainlink insiders. So yeah. And here, for example, they are saying, we're thrilled to share that Google is one of the great companies integrating Chainlink, blah, blah, blah. And basically, Google tweets out that same thing as well. But if you are reading it more clearly, basically the post from Google is simply an explanation on how Google's product can interact with decentralized applications using a combination of Ethereum, Google Cloud, and Chainlink. So it's actually just on how the client app can interact with the database server. So it's just an interaction, not really a partnership or anything like that. So it's these types of like advertising and pushing that that is creating the hype and the FOMO for people to be buying the token, right? So anyways, like I said, there is 59 pages that you can go through if you are one of the investors or holders of Chainlink, and you have been FOMOing for the past couple of weeks. I strongly suggest that you read out this report and make your own decision and make your own analysis from it. But yeah, if this is all true, and I have no idea if it's really true or everything is correct, what this report is saying, it looks pretty damning, and it looks pretty good to me. But like I said, this is not my opinion. This is basically the company's opinion, and the report that they have done with some serious research apparently about Chainlink. And if you can see, if you see that one, yeah, I would definitely check it out. Let's put it like that. And well, for me, I would not, yeah. So yeah. Crazy. So yeah, yeah, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for our poster boy, for our poster link poster boy. Meanwhile, well, let's take a look on the TA on poster boy. We can see, well, we've talked about link before. Do I think that it will make a retracement? Well, on a TA perspective, I already told you. I do believe that most likely this is a topping formation that we are currently seeing, and we can see it also better right now on the lower time frames. Although, of course, we are still we haven't broken the EMA 21 just yet, but as you can see, it's starting to slow down a little bit right now. So I do believe that that the top is in on Chainlink. But yeah, I mean, if that report is completely true, then well, a short on on Chainlink might be very valuable. Let's put it like that. But yeah, once again, don't hate me for it. There's of course a lot of hype surrounding Chainlink. There's a lot of Chainlink fanatics around who will most likely not like what I've just shown. But let me be clear, it's not my opinion. It is just information that I've received, and it's just information that I wanted to share with you guys for people, because yeah, there has been a lot of hype concerning Link, right? And like with everything, when it's usually the case with most things, right? When it's too good to be true, usually it's too good to be true. That's just basically how most of the times I look at things. But yeah, take a look yourself, read it up yourself. 59 pages on that report. It looks quite damning to me. A lot of stuff. To be honest, a lot of stuff that they are saying has also been done with other ICOs. Of course, that's how the cryptocurrency marketing machine works. So we have to take it a little bit with a grain of salt. But if it's true that like, you know, how they are dumping on the market, how they are creating fake partnerships, how they are creating fake news and fake media and stuff like that, that's, you know, that's a little bit that's rough to hear. And then of course, if their token economics are not good, then you know, you can find the report on chainlink.docsent.com. Right, so maybe I'll type it down. Wait 1 second. I'll type it down on the Chainlink chart. Lol. So you can find it on chainlink.docsent.com. Okay, you can find it here. So yeah, read it up. I'll put it here. Top is in, boys. Top is in. But yeah, basically you can find the report there, and whatever you do with the report, whatever you do with the information is of course up to you. It's just information that I've received, and I just wanted to pass it along with you guys. Anyways, let's go into some technical analysis for today. Where should we start? Well, let's just start with the traditional markets, right? Because traditional markets is traditional markets here. So yeah, like we explained before, like I keep saying, the traditional market most likely will be more or good, like ranging towards the sideways a little bit, towards the weekly close. And what are we looking at? Of course, do we break above this range or break below this range? But like I've said, it closed below the 10 simple moving average now, and it looks like it's getting rejected from that, although we get that retest, of course, towards the 10 simple moving average. That's why I also said, like, most likely we will not be breaking immediately any structure or anything like that, but it will be very interesting to see where we are going to be closing the weekly candle, right? So later tonight will be the last trading day on the weekly on the Nasdaq, and basically if we are closing below let's say this area here, below 10.6k, below the medium of this weekly candle here, that would be most likely be, you know, confirming my bias that this is a shooting star that is being formed, or a doji candle that is being formed, and a reversal pattern that is being created right in this moment of time. But of course, nothing is completed just yet. And like I've also explained before, if this is confirmed as a top, and the next week, not this week, the next week we confirm a breakdown and a local top of this, we of course have that weekly bearish divergence that I've talked about, right? So where we have created a higher high on the price, as you can see, a higher high on the price, and then on the RSI, of course, we have created a lower high that we can clearly see here, right? Boom, there. So yeah, that would be obviously a serious that's a serious amount of bearish divergence, of course, right? So if that is going to be happening, yeah, we can expect a serious pullback. But like I said, we can't really confirm the bearish divergence just yet. Very similar, like we had it a couple of days before on Chainlink, to be honest, to be exact, where we had potential daily bearish divergence, but it got removed because we created a higher high. And of course, this is still the same scenario. So if we are gonna create a higher high with a weekly candle, then of course that bearish divergence is negated once again. But of course, if we start breaking and creating a lower weekly candle, then that bearish divergence is going to be confirmed, and then most likely we will be having a serious pullback on the traditional market. And like I said, if we are going to be creating a serious pullback on the traditional markets, then of course Bitcoin is very likely to be following as well, and pulling down towards the downside, right? So that's the reason why, you know, I'm putting so much emphasis at looking at the traditional markets right now. Also on the S&P chart, what I've told you guys yesterday is very similar. Do we break above this area here on the S&P, then we still have a chance to be going up to the previous high and the next one, and that could also potentially give Bitcoin a serious push towards the upside. But as you can see right now, yeah, we're doing the same, pretty much the same thing. We're consolidating around this area, and it looks like it wants to be pulling back towards the downside rather than the upside. But yeah, we can't really confirm anything just yet until the weekly is closed as well, right? So let's take a look on the weekly candle. What do we look here on the S&P? To be honest, on the S&P, we can clearly see that the chart is actually not as toppy as the Nasdaq chart, right? It's not as toppy. But if we are creating like a double top here, for example, that would be obviously a serious pullback towards the downside as well. So those are the things that we are looking at later tonight, when the stock markets are going to be opening, and of course the candle closes on Saturday morning, right? So other than that, well, very little has happened so far for now, in terms of on the traditional markets, of course. But yeah, so yeah, that's basically what we should be taking a look at because it affects Bitcoin so much. Let's go to Bitcoin. What happened with Bitcoin? Well, nothing that much happened. We did so yeah, yesterday, like I said, I was looking if this daily candle would be closing below this support trend line, and we did. So this is actually, well, it confirms to me that it has broken the structure towards the downside. However, there's one thing that you should always keep yourself in mind when we are doing diagonal trend lines. You know, it's first of all, it's of course it's more subjective than because you can move your trend line than any other trend line. So that's one thing. I would put way more emphasis on breaking the structure on horizontal trend lines rather than diagonals, right? So we did not break the diagonal, the horizontal lower, right? So if we are looking at purely at horizontal lines, it is still the same area here. This is the area that we need to be breaking down or closing the candle below that 9,000 area. Then we have a horizontal support line break, right? So, but of course, like I said, if we keep making, if we don't make higher higher lows, yeah, if we don't keep making higher lows, then of course that's definitely not a good sign, right? So what am I expecting? Well, in the short run, I don't really think that we'll be doing that much today or tomorrow or during the weekend. In the very short term, we are still here in this green box. Maybe we will be retesting the top of the support that is now turning into resistance. So maybe we'll go back to like the EMA 21, or even it's a little bit higher towards even the EMA 55. But yeah, other than that, I mean this looks this is pretty clear to me that this is continuation towards the downside rather than the upside. I would not expect a full reversal on this typical pattern at all, right? So if we are looking at the we just got out of the RSI is just barely got out of the bearish control zone, but yeah, I don't think we will go that high, to be honest. So first I want to see if we break the 4-hour candle close above 9,130, or this area here, this green box here. If we close above the next 4 hours, well, it's gonna happen in a couple of minutes anyways. If we manage to break above it, well, maybe we can go a little bit higher, like I said, more near toward like 9,180, 9,200 maybe. But yeah, for me this is pretty clear that this is a break of the structure for me, and most likely going to be heading down lower. So yeah, I'm definitely not really worried at all for for my short that I'm in. But yeah, once again, very similar. We did not create technically we did not create a lower low just yet in terms if we are looking at horizontals, but we did break the structure if we are looking at it as a diagonal, of course. So yeah, yeah, we can also see the moving average. As you can see, it's just getting wider and wider, so the pressure is just more and more towards the downside. And yeah, you can't call this little bounce here very strong, right? Went to 9,130, and then right now it seems like it's getting rejected once again right now. So and being below below all moving averages on the 4-hour is obviously not very good. So anyways, just taking a look on the weekly, because well, that's where we are looking at things. Very similar on the long term, very same thing that we are looking at. Do we close the next weekly candle above 9.3k? Above 9.3k, that would make me more bullish, of course, like I said, but right now we are at like 9,130, so I doubt it. Well, who knows, but I doubt it that we'll be able to be closing the weekly above it. If we close the weekly below 8.9k, obviously that would be a break of the structure towards the downside. So that's what we are looking at. Stokes are of course still curling towards the downside, and more important as well is this the RSI. If we close the weekly below, as you can see, 9,135, that would be also meaning that we will be crossing the EMA towards the downside as well, confirming this would be a local top, and that would be, you know, obviously not good as well, right? Just taking a look on the 3-day, the Stokes are also still curling towards the downside, and I think the 2-day is the most important thing that I wanted to show you guys, is because of this. So we had a small bounce out from the bearish control zone outside back to the neutral, and as you can see right now it's curling towards the downside immediately. So the bears are still pulling it back down towards inside into the bearish control zone, so that's obviously not good as well, right? So even on the higher time frames, things are starting to look a little bit droopy towards the downside, right? So yeah, that's basically a little bit the higher time frames, but of course in this lower time frames things are going to still be a little bit rangy, depending on how this traditional markets also are going to be moving, right? Right now, if we are looking on Nasdaq, it's a little bit of a green candle. Also on the S&P, a little bit of a green candle. So yeah, maybe we'll get back to like 9180, 91 something like that. Oh, here. No, it's already there. So yeah, back to the EMA 21. somewhere around there, that is definitely possible. But yeah, as long as it doesn't break any of the green boxes towards the upside, yeah, the pressure will still be on the bulls, and the bears are still in control. That's as simple as it is, right? As simple as it is. Let's take a look on the daily RSI if we can see something different. No, we're still in that channel. So as you can see, we're still in that channel. We still have not confirmed a break of the channel on the RSI just yet. So we'll just have to be a little bit more patient, a little bit more patient. So yeah, maybe we still have some energy, and like I said, push back to this top, and the basically where we have broken down from, back to the EMA 55 on the daily, 9,187, something like that. Definitely possible that we can go back there, but like I said, the pressure is really very strong on the price right now. So continuation towards the downside is just way more likely than anything else. And also we also can see that the EMA 21 on the daily is starting to curl towards the downside. The slope is towards the downside, and potentially in the next 2, 3, 4 days, we can also see that maybe we will have a bearish cross between the EMA 21 and the EMA 55, and that can push the price towards the downside even more substantially, right? So yeah, let me take a look on the boom boom. Where should we take a look? Well, let's take a look on the expected moves chart, because we are here now at the expected move chart. First standard deviation to the upper end is 9,225. That's quite high, actually. I didn't expect it to be that high. And then the first standard deviation to the downside is 9,077. Would that break any structure? No, obviously not, because 9.3K is the green box to the top side, and basically 9K is the box towards the downside. So are we going to be breaking any structure today? Well, maybe not. Maybe still not. Stokes on the 12-hour are still towards the downside, as well on the daily, I assume, on the daily as well. Yes, still curling towards the downside. RSI is still towards the downside. Let's take a look on the shorter time frames. The 4-hour is trying to curl a little bit up, but yeah, I don't think that we will be going that far, to be honest. Here, RSI is trying to be here. Yep. If you are looking at very long term, like I said, it's a little bit biased, right? It's a little bit biased, right? I understand what you mean. What we can do is just take the wick, like you said, Planet. Sorry. So something like this. If you take the whole all the wicks, but yeah, I mean it's and then you would get like you know, a higher point. Let's put it like that. But it's like I said, it's subjective. I prefer to take the bodies of a trend line. That's just my preference, because wicks in a leveraged market like we are having right now, it's kind of normal. And yeah, you just have to be living with it, to be honest. But the main information is found by the bodies of the candles. That has always been my trading style. So yeah, if you get wicked out, you get wicked out. That's just what leverage, because of the leverage trading. But when I'm looking at the global formation of a movement, then usually I take the bodies rather than the wicks, right? So that's the reason why I've made my drawing something like this. 1 second, I should make this one a little bit higher. There. So yeah, boom, boom, there. So yeah, we have some wicks that that push out, but overall, as you can see, if we are just taking the bodies and the line, we can clearly see that yeah, we did wick out, right? We did wick out, but it got rejected, so it's not a confirmation. We did wick out here once again. As you can see, we wicked out, but no body above the resistance trend line. So yeah, still invalid. That's how I usually look at things. As long as we don't have a candle close outside of the resistance line, then yeah, it's not valid. That's what I think. But wicks can always happen, and so you have to be very careful with that. And definitely, if you're leverage trading, have to be very careful with that, of course, right? But yeah, for me, candle closes are when it comes to pattern formations. I think that's the most important thing for me, and that's the reason why I keep saying like that it is. For example, on the daily yesterday, I told you this is not a confirmed just yet, but now it is confirmed because, as you can see, we did close the body outside of the formation, right? So if we are looking at the whole trend, the whole trend of this pattern, from this line all the way up to this line, as you can see here, support, support, and as you can clearly see now, we did make a lower low here. So that's what I mean with like, yeah, for me this now it is confirmed that that it has broken the pattern towards the downside. Very similar as well on the 4 hour as well, right? So if we are taking the bodies or the line, you can see here very clear. So we have our low here, we have our higher low there, higher low, and then as you can see very clearly broke down. This was another higher low, and now we can clearly see very broke down very low already outside of our pattern. So yeah, that's why I'm, of course, is it possible that we reverse? Of course, it's always a possibility, but the probabilities are just on the lower end that we reverse from here. Also, we don't have any. We're not at this moment in time. Do we have any divergences or bullish divergences? I don't think so. Let me check if there's any bullish divergence. Is there bullish divergence? This one, no, no bullish divergence as well. So as long as I don't see any bullish divergence, and this is only on the 4 hour chart. So if I don't see any bullish divergence, I don't see a reversal happening just yet. So yeah, pretty much the same thing as as the last couple of days and yesterday. A small bounce from here, sure. Very possible. Even a little bit higher is even possible, but I do think that we'll be getting near the CN line or the EM8 100 very likely over the next couple of days, or at least retest that area pretty soon. Even it's actually really possible later tonight if the traditional markets have a not a very good weekly close. Yeah, it's very possible that BTC gets pushed down towards that area very quickly as well. So it would not surprise me at all. But yeah, overall market is not looking very strong. It just isn't, right? When you keep hanging on the lower end of the support lines, of course, that doesn't show strength in the market, right? That definitely doesn't show any strength in the market. Maybe take a look on what we can see on other indicators, if there's anything new there. Well, we can see that the ADX or the DI, you can see the divergence between the red line and the green line is even bigger right now. So yeah, yeah, the momentum is definitely towards the downside, right? Not towards the upside. Let's take a look here on the COT chart. If something different, no, not really, nothing that different as well. MACD is getting more negative towards the downside, as you can see. Maybe I could put on the cross as well for the people who love the cross. 1 second, the signal. Okay, here. So we have the cross towards the downside as well on the MACD as well towards the downside, and as you can see, the histogram is already ticking towards the downside as well. So yeah, very little that I can say. A small bounce towards the upside, sure, but more continuation towards the downside is very, very probable and very, very likely. So yep, same thoughts, just holding my short holding my short and waiting for this area to be touching 8950 ish or something like that. If we do break below the 8.9k area, then I'm looking for this this area to be hit, right? The 8500 ish area, or this simple 200 moving average. Yeah, something that we have been talking for a really long time already. Let's take a look on ERD. Didn't we do ERD already yesterday? You know, nothing much changes so quickly, you know. Let's take a look on ERD. Boom, boom. Yeah, very similar to Chainlink. This looks like a topping formation, most likely curling towards the downside, I guess. Well, it did bounce nicely off the EMA 21, so I would not be 100% convinced just yet. This might actually get another push, try to push towards the upside. It might, but like I said, if Bitcoin does pull back, then yeah, then of course this is going to be pulling back as well, but nothing confirmed just yet. Let's take a look if there's any divergences. 1 second. If there's any divergences, no divergences that can be seen as well. No. So it might push. It might push a little bit higher. I would be looking at this, of course, this previous area. If we break through it, if we break the 0.17 close candles above it, most likely target would be 19 cents, something like that, or our R2 here, this area. That would be likely the next push towards the upside, but I would be very careful. This looks toppy if for example, if we don't if we start closing this daily candle, if we don't get continuation of this daily candle, right? So I would be careful, like I said, with every altcoin right now, to be honest. I would be very, very careful. Oh wow, really, Nikolai? That would be very interesting. That would be very interesting. We'll have to do a more deep dive onto everything, and let's see tomorrow then if I can find something. If you can find something, Nikolai, that is official, please send it over as well to me. Right? Oh, it's pumping, guys. Bitcoin is pumping. Let's see how far we go. But like I said, right now I don't think that we will have an immediate reversal just yet on everything. A small pump towards the upside, sure, definitely possible, which is what we're currently seeing right now, actually. But overall, yeah, still pretty bearish on everything, on everything else. So I would wait it out for the weekly close on the traditional markets, and then most likely we'll have more information for the crypto market, right? But yeah, would not be in a rush to be buying anything right now, to be honest. I would just wait it out. Okay. Anyways, that's it for today. I know it's nothing that much new or nothing much interesting, but sometimes that's how it is, right? We have to be a little bit more patient until we see maybe something new developing over the next couple of days. But other than that, yep, my bias is exactly the same as yesterday, to be honest. Most likely more continuation towards the downside. Anyways, hope you're having a good Friday, and enjoy the weekend, and see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. 7:30 p.m. UTC plus 8 is my time zone. And until tomorrow, please stay home,